Hey, welcome everybody back for another episode, and we're gonna talk about Multiversus, the Smash Brothers clone that involved Warner Brothers characters, and it was fun for the beginning. They did an early access version that me and Danny tried out, and we kicked some ass, and we had a lot of fun, and we saw a lot of potential with it. But just recently, we got word that well, actually, I should backtrack a bit. What happened was it was on early access. People enjoyed it, and they actually pulled the game off of early access, and then they started to develop it, behind closed doors, and they brought it back. And when they brought it back changed. There were a lot of things that were not a lot of things, but very dramatic things were changed, kind of affected the gameplay a little bit and the enjoyment for players. And there was a lot of backlash, and it seems like the player base dropped severely, and now the game is shutting down. And it will be shutting down, I believe, in May. Maybe that's why I got that date mixed up before for our last episode. It's being shut down in May, and there will only be an offline mode. So you still be able to play the game, especially if you paid for the game. For the passes and all that stuff, and for the characters and skins and everything. So there's at least there's a plus that you'll be able to keep all that stuff and just play with your friends at home. That's pretty much all you can do. Danny, what were your thoughts on the failure of Multiverses?
I think a lot of it was pulling the game part of it was pulling the game from it and then changing stuff up when it wasn't releasing it when it wasn't ready to be released yet. They shifted more testing to see if people like the slow down version of the game because they slowed everything down so they could do more combos and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which was fun a little bit, but wasn't really well received. And then there were so many broken characters, a lot of broken characters. And the biggest thing that I feel that destroyed the game is their greediness of putting everything behind these really expensive paywalls. So they added a bunch of new characters, but you had to get it into the season pass or alright, just buy them. And it became really expensive and they were developing a lot of characters really quickly. But it was to me it was kind of overkill of how much money you would have to spend to buy all these new characters. And then the biggest thing, every character that came out super broken.
Yeah.
So it was different from if they come out and if they're balanced like with everybody else. But every single new character that came out was super strong. And it almost like it was done on purpose for them to be powerful so that you would want to buy them. And then after you bought them, then they would nerf them when new other characters came out. And that was kind of the MO of every single character. Some of them, like the Powerpuff Girls, had super easy infinite one hit kills. Iron Giant was broken for like half a year, you know, because he came back with tons of some stuff they wanted to fix for him and smaller stuff. But he just had so many never ending death combos that they had literally had to disable him from being able to be played for the longest time and did not know how to fix him. And there was just so many different characters like that. Joker first came out, he was the strongest fucking thing ever until they nerfed him. You know, every single character, as soon as somebody came out, knew they were super strong. You basically that's all you saw, that's all people played with because that if you play anybody else, you were gonna lose. And for that it became really disappointing. And I think that's why people put it down. They were like, fuck this. If I continue playing this, I'm just gonna be more upset every time a new character comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much just the gist of it, I guess. Kevin, you still there?
Yeah, no, I'm still here. I was just muted
Did
myself.
you get to play the game?
Yeah, I did. I
Did you try
played a
to play?
couple.
Did you play the game early access versus what will they release afterwards? Is another question.
I think I played early access. I played on handheld for like I played because I had my Rogue at the time, so I played it for a bit. I played it with my brother, and the game, like Dan said, it's fun. But then once you start again having that mentality of like, oh yeah, I played Smash Bros. And like this is like Smash Bros. I started comparing, and it kind of took I couldn't play the game as its own game in a way. It kind of just felt like I'm playing a bad version of Smash Bros. Or a slow version of Smash Bros. When I
Mm.
played it after early access. So Uh, Iron Giant is definitely broken. That was the first character I picked, and then I like Batman, but Batman wasn't as good as I thought he would be, and I kind of like couldn't synergize with the character. So then I eventually dropped it. I tried Wonder Woman. I mean, I tried Superman. I tried Finn. I tried Jake. I tried like even Velma, and I'm like, this game isn't like it's not for me, and I don't want to keep like finding a reason to dislike this game. But it's like it was too slow, too many broken characters. The balancing issue was like outrageous, and I'm like, I if I want to play a bad game, I would just play like vanilla. I would just play melee, and I'll just get my ass kicked by the computer or something. I felt like even if I'm doing great, my teammate would like ruin the game for me, or like they would just pick Iron Giant and Broken Joker at the time, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose. I know I'm gonna lose. This is gonna happen, or Iron Giant, which happens, and I'm like, this is totally fair.
Yeah, me and Danny will do some matches and
Yeah,
we'll fuck around with
we
Iron
did the
Giant.
we did the double Iron
We'll
Giant,
do a
so
double
yeah.
Iron Giant, just completely wreck the map and just constant drop kicks and flying them up and just all that. It was hilarious. But yeah, there's just not much to the game now. Like we had a previous episode where we talked about live service games. They're starting to fail slowly but surely, and this is just another one of those in the chopping block. Uh, is this one made sense though as a live service game because it's a freaking Smash Brothers game. You know, like you can do the season passes, you can do the adding of characters, but yeah, it was like what Danny said. They got really greedy because they put them behind a paywall, and then there was still a grind to get to them from after that paywall was done. Or I'm pretty sure, or you can just pay them outright. Was it Danny?
Mhm.
Something like that as well.
Yeah, you can buy it outright or get it through I
Yeah.
think get it through Steam Pass. I don't remember now. I don't think you
Um,
get to buy it.
so they had, I think the first one they were introducing was Joker. I think it was the Joker was the first one, and then afterwards
Mhm.
was like Agent Smith.
Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was just like, and I saw some other characters. You know, I saw like Powerpuff Girls. That's interesting. Samurai Jack.
Beetlejuice.
Super.
I was like,
Hmm.
what?
And they all
Beetlejuice.
came out super broken when they
Yeah.
first came out. I remember. And I'm like, I remember seeing the combos and people were doing it like, yeah, they can kill you at zero. Yep, they can kill you at zero. Yep, they can kill. And then they had the buff that like they would nerf and buff them. Like, I mean, they would have to nerf every single one of those, and then there'd be a new character come out, and then that person would be overpowered, and
But how?
it was a horrible, annoying
But
circle.
how? But how do you drop so many characters and then they come out busted as shit every
I
Because they
time?
didn't
felt like
care.
again, I felt like it was designed to me. I felt like it was designed on purpose to do that. It was designed to have you wanted these broken characters because they were going to be the strongest one, and they wanted you to pay for it.
Yeah, so they'll give
Very
you the
simple.
incentive.
The game was pay to win.
I think Danny has the more realistic theory. I have the cynical theory of just that they just didn't care. I think they just wanted to drop their characters
Because
in there as fast as possible, so that way they can make their money. But Danny's theory still makes a hell of a lot more sense.
because if they did, then not every single one of them would have been broken, right? It would have been almost the opposite. Like they're underpowered at times, and then
Mhm.
you'd have been like, "Why the hell is this so guy? It's a brand new character. It's super underpowered." Never fucking happened. There was never a new character that came in underpowered at all.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like, and this is a Warner Brothers game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it figures. I'm not saying Warner Brother does good at one thing, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying it make animated movies. They're good at that. Live action superhero movies, they're not good at. And I seen that when Marvel Rivals came out, I was like, wait, what happened to that Marvel game that came out? I mean, that Warner Brothers game that came out. And then I was trying to remember Multiverse, and I was like, it's still flopping, right? Like
So
yeah.
another big thing, because there was another game, Nintendo one. I'm not sure. I think that might have got canceled too. Or maybe not. Maybe it's still running. And they're praying, but most likely got canceled. Anyway, um, they all try to copy Smash, but
Mhm.
they don't improve on what Smash needs to be improved. And they don't
PlayStation
copy.
All Stars.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I know. The Nintendo one, but they don't copy what it was done correctly, right? Like Overwatch and Marvel. Like Marvel Rivals is a copy, and we all know it. It's nothing.
Mhm.
It's a copy of Overwatch, but they took what worked in the game and left it alone, and then improved on what they felt needed improvement on. Smash didn't need much improvement, maybe adding a few things or whatever it was, but they never added anything. They left it the same or dumbed it down even more to make it simpler for kids. Because again, which is the balance that you have to play. It's a game that has the Powerpuff Girls and shit like, or maybe not the Powerpuff Girls, but a lot of those characters were very maybe meant for kids, Bugs Bunny and stuff like that. But the fact that they were relying so heavy on this old school Cartoon Network, it was like, well, you don't have to dumb this game down for these kids because the Cartoon Network fans who are buying your game right now are not kids, right?
Mhm.
People, if it's up playing as a Powerpuff Girl, they never watch Powerpuff. An 8-year-old doesn't know what the fucking Powerpuff Girl is right
An
now.
eight, an 8-year-old does not know who Agent Smith is.
Exactly.
Forget that,
You
or
know,
even like if you put if like
Or
they put
Beetlejuice.
Gizmo, they put
yeah,
Gizmo, and I'm like, these kids don't know who these characters are.
yeah.
Like it's well past their age.
So now you have this game that feels dumbed down for kids, so kids can learn because it is very simplistic and some of the stuff that they did. Let's try to make it a little easier, but it doesn't work. Like to me, it doesn't work.
So
Like you
you
can't
so
just
so you think a part of why it failed is because it pretty much had no target audience because you couldn't do it for the kids, but then you
you
weren't
couldn't do
catering
it
for
for
the adults.
yeah, and you weren't catering towards the Smash people, right? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't better than Smash. So this Marvel game caters to Overwatch, to the
Mhm.
Overwatch fans, 100% to
Yes.
the Overwatch game fans. There's no doubt about that. But in
Yep.
order to win those people over, your game has to be better. And
Yep.
if your game's not better, it's not going to win. And it
Yep.
is. It's much better. And a lot of Overwatch people flip themselves. Do not play Overwatch anymore. They only play this, which is
Hmm.
fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And they could not do that with that game. If they were able to, if they're able to improve it and able to make it just as smooth, and then make improvements on what the Smash community probably like. I think that's what they should have done to me. Go to the Smash community, find out what they're bitching about and what they don't like about the game, and just do that. Because I feel like that's what Overwatch did.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's what
like.
Marvels did.
Yeah. I feel like there's good Smash clones. Like Rivals of Aether is an amazing like Smash clone, and it's definitely a Smash clone. It has cartoon characters, and then they have like a whole like they did something that Nintendo didn't, which is just have like a bunch of different like side characters. Like you could have like Barack Obama, Ronald McDonald fighting each other, and it's in a game that feels like Smash Bros. And it's like so cool. But looking at Marvel Rivals, it's like I mean not Marvel Rivals, Multiverse. It's like why why were you trying so hard just to flop? You know what I mean? Like I felt like they had all these amazing characters, these like interesting characters and interesting maps and gimmicks and all that stuff, but then you still flop because you got greedy. Like greed doesn't always make a game good. It's usually the fan base or even the developer makes it interesting. And I couldn't like the game after like a few hours of play. I couldn't get behind it.
I hope this is a trend that just keeps continuing. I think people are starting to wake up to the the tactics that people do for live service games. They know the ones that are genuine and trying to make the game good, but obviously they're constantly needing more money to continue the service. So that part makes sense to me. But when you're just purposely just doing things for the game in order to make it difficult for players to have fun just because you need to make an extra buck, I think that's the stuff that hopefully people are waking up to, and that's why we see more of this stuff failing. I wish Multiverses did good. I mean, because I would have liked the nice Smash clone. We mentioned in an episode before how we talked about the Nintendo Switch 2 impressions, and I mentioned that I don't touch my Switch because I got Smash on there. It's just I don't touch my Switch because I don't know many people who play it. I don't know many people who play Smash for that matter, and like I just don't really play online. I play for like the solo stuff, the first party stuff, and then I just move on. So this
Yeah.
is just now one of those Smash clones that failed. And I never even tried to play PlayStation All Stars. By the way, if any of you, I don't even know if either you guys
I
had
played
played
it,
that.
but
I
I've
never
played
gave
it.
it a chance.
I think it was free though.
Was it
Yeah, after a while.
really?
Yeah, and
Maybe
then
after a
on
while, I feel like.
I,
You know what? I might have bought it right away.
Uh,
I
I
played
get, I get a lot of credit.
I played it on my Vita, and it was like
is
one
All
of
Stars the
my
game I'm
like
thinking about? Is that the right?
The
battle.
SpongeBob one.
Yeah,
Is
no, it's a PlayStation All Star Battle Royale or something. That's the
That's
name
what
of
it's
it.
called.
And
There
Okay.
was there's two. Again, there was two decent ones or that were supposed to be good. One of them was the one with SpongeBob, and there was another one that came out first before that one. That was with
Nickelodeon All Star
All
Brawl.
Star
That's what it
Brawl.
was.
Yeah,
I don't know the name.
with the Nickelodeon characters.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and they did the same thing that I believe they did the same thing. That's what happened. They did the same thing that Multiverse did, where they
Mm.
pulled it down for a little bit, and then they revamped a lot of stuff.
But was it better or is
No,
like
no.
okay, okay. Damn, they really. In short,
It almost for me, it felt like it was the same fucking developer. Like I didn't know, but it really felt like it.
I'm gonna make this like my final point. It was like it's like that saying of what I think Sega did. Sega does what Nintendo don't. They just couldn't do what Nintendo did, and
Yeah.
they kept flopping. But I hope they learn. Like I hope Warner learns, whatever company made Multiverse learns, and even the Nickelodeon whatever game it was. I hope
Just
they learn from this.
just come out with a good game. Don't even make it live service because never have a Smash Brothers game was live service, and every DLC they had for extra characters and stuff was all just paid DLC, and they still did perfectly fine. And like they took their sweet time coming out with that game. They finally tuned it. They'll patch it up obviously every now and then, but like they finally tuned that game. It was a fucking huge game, the last one. Big ass map, lots of shit to do, lots of characters to choose from, and still unlock on top of like the stuff that you can pay for in DLCs. Like Smash was like the perfect game. It was perfect fighting game. So you just it's not that hard. Like if you wanted to copy them so badly, just do it almost exactly the same, just with different characters, and not have to fucking put a paywall on everything. That's all you had to do.
Just add Cloud Final Fantasy character in Street Fighter,
And
and you'll
Street
do
Fighter.
well. And you'll do well. Fucking Smash has
Tekken.
Tekken, Street Fighter, and Final Fantasy, and Kingdom Hearts in the same
Kingdom
game.
Hearts.
That doesn't even make sense. Like
Yeah.
imagine Kazuya like a electric wing guiding fist Sora, and then Ryu just comes in with a dragon punch. It's like the world is insane. That game is insane.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that since these characters were announced. Like, this doesn't make sense that you're just adding these like franchises in this game. Oh, and Terry Bogard is in fucking
Yeah,
Smash.
that was one of the last few, right?
Yeah,
Fighters.
it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully you guys learn from it. Do better.
Do better. Yep.
Do better.
So we'll end it at that. Yep. Multiverse is gone. Let's see what the next Smash clone is going to be, and hopefully that does better. And the game industry, hopefully learning from all this shit and all the live service bull crap that we have to deal with. So until next time.
Later.